things I like the best about the book is the opening. I think one of the strongest craft points is in how I write Camille. The conventional version of this story is the wronged woman who screams, but that's not how we find Camille. I didn't write her like that because real long-term grief doesn't look like a screaming match. It is quiet and defeated. It's not as theatrical, right? It looks like a woman drinking cold tea and saying, "I'm alive," and meaning only that. The anger burns out, literally. So I wrote her flat instead of furious. And I hope that resonates with people. I hope they can see the stage of grief that she is in. The line I like, as an author, you never want to be like, oh, that was so clever, but the line about the heart and sustained grief, I think that's one of the interesting things about being a physician novelist is you can write in, I joke with people, like, I have in almost every novel where I write, I would say, if there's a pregnancy, 50% of those women have severe preeclampsia and an eruption. Like, they're just certain things that you can write, I think, more convincingly because you just have the medical knowledge. But the metaphor of what sustained grief actually does to the heart, it's beautiful and tragic and medically real, and it's, as a metaphor, it is perfect. And so those are kind of some of the elements, but let's read it. Let's hear it, and hopefully it will resonate with people. So this is episode 1. It's The Visit. I do all my scenes in first person POV, so this is written from the POV of Camille. I let him come on a Tuesday. Not for any particular reason. Tuesdays had no significance, no anniversary, no milestone, no carefully chosen symbolism. I just woke up that morning and the weight on my chest was marginally less than it had been the day before. And I thought, maybe today I can look at him without wanting to disappear. That was the threshold now. Not happiness, not readiness, just the possibility that I could sit in a room with Elijah and remain in my own body while I did it. He'd been trying to reach me for months. Calls I silenced, texts I read once and then deleted, not because I didn't care what they said, but because caring was a resource I'd run out of somewhere around month 3 when the second antidepressant stopped working and Dr. Reeves added the anti-anxiety medication and the sleep aid and the blood pressure pill that I needed now, because apparently sustained grief can physically change your heart, make it thicken, stiffen, become less efficient at the basic act of pumping blood through a body that isn't sure it wants to keep going. 5 pills. That was the architecture of my days now. 5 pills and the children and the slow, mechanical performance of being alive. Daniela had been the gatekeeper, fielding his calls, redirecting his emails, maintaining the perimeter around my collapse with the same terrifying efficiency. She was like that, methodical, protective, in the way only a sister could be. She'd slept on my floor for 2 weeks after the hospitalization. The one they didn't know about. The one she'd built an elaborate cover story around. some conference in Chicago that nobody questioned because nobody was paying close enough attention. But this morning I texted her, tell him he can come, 2 p.m., 1 hour. She didn't ask if I was sure. Daniela had learned not to ask me that. He arrived exactly at 2 o'clock. Elijah was never late for anything in his life. I heard the car from where I sat at the kitchen table, my parents' kitchen table, in my parents' house in Silver Spring, the house I'd grown up in before I became someone's wife and someone's lover and someone's eventual casualty. I'd come here because it was the only structure I trusted not to collapse. My father built this kitchen with his own hands. The shelves were level, the doors closed properly. Nothing here had been designed around a man who would eventually destroy me. I didn't get up when he knocked. Let him wait the 30 seconds it took me to finish my tea. Not a power move, just the reality that standing required more energy than I had in reserve, and I needed to ration it. When I opened the door, the look on his face almost broke me. Almost. But I've gotten very good at almost. Camille. He said my name the way you say the name of someone you haven't seen in a long time, with a slight intake of breath that means the person in front of you doesn't match the picture you've been carrying. I knew what he was saying. The weight loss, the hollows under my cheekbones that hadn't been there before, the way my clothes hung on a frame that used to fill them. I stopped looking in mirrors around month 4. No version of my reflection offered useful information anymore. Come in, I said. Nothing else. No greeting. No how are you. None of the social scaffolding that normal people use to ease into difficult conversations. I didn't have the scaffolding left. He followed me to the kitchen. I sat back down at the table with my tea. He stood in the doorway for a moment, that broad frame taking up space the way it always had, deliberate, unavoidable. Then he sat across from me, and I watched him try to find the version of me he knew how to talk to. But she wasn't there. Thank you for seeing me, he started. I took a sip of tea. Camille, I've been so worried. We've both been... How are the children, I asked. Not because I didn't know. I talked to them every day, FaceTimed every night, knew their grades and their moods and the exact dimensions of their daily lives. I asked because it was a question I could answer with the part of my brain that still functioned, and it redirected him away from whatever speech he prepared. He told me. Roberta was doing well in school. Raphael's piano was progressing. Ricardo was doing fine too. The things I already knew, delivered with a father's careful optimism that couldn't quite mask the anxiety underneath. I nodded, sipped my tea. The silence that followed was the kind that has texture, dense, almost human, filled with everything neither of us was saying. I could see it affecting him, the way his hands moved on the table, the subtle restlessness that was so foreign to a man who had built his entire identity on stillness and control. He was unsettled, off balance. His eyes kept moving across my face, my hands, the angles of me, searching for something he recognized, finding less and less. You look. He stopped himself, recalibrated. How are you, Camille, really? I set down my tea, looked at him directly for the first time since he'd arrived. Let him see whatever was in my eyes now, which, based on what Dr. Reeves told me during our last session, was something between resignation and a vacancy that concerned her. I'm alive, I said. He flinched. The word, just that one flat word, hit him harder than any accusation could have. That's not... You asked how I am. I'm alive. I'm taking my medications. I'm eating enough to function. I see my children every day on a screen and every other weekend in person. I do the things a living person does. I paused. Beyond that, I don't know how to answer your question. He sat with that for a moment. I watched him process it. The analytical mind that had built empires, now struggling to compute a reality where I was describing my own survival in the flattest possible terms. Camille, I came here because I know why you came. Do you? You came because the guilt has become unmanageable. No accusation in my tone, just observation. The way you note the weather. You came because watching me disappear from a distance is one thing, but you needed to see it up close, to measure the damage, to know exactly how much destruction you're responsible for, so you can begin the work of processing it and eventually forgiving yourself. That's not fair. No, I agreed quietly. None of this is fair. Another silence. He leaned forward, elbows on the table. I saw the effort it took him not to reach for my hands, the restraint. Once, his restraint had been beautiful to me. That controlled power, that deliberate stillness. Now, it just looked like another calculation. I don't know how to do this, he said finally. How to sit here and watch you be... He searched for the word. Indifferent, I offered. Is that what this is? I don't know what this is. I turned my teacup in my hands. I think it's what comes after you run out of everything else. I was angry. You should know that. For months. The kind of anger that has a taste that coats the inside of your mouth and won't wash out. And then I was sad in a way that I didn't know a human body could sustain. And then I paused, genuinely trying to locate the word. And then I was this. You've been like this for how long? His voice was changed. Stripped of its usual authority, it carried something raw that I might have responded to once before. You want a timeline? I almost smiled. Almost. You want me to give you the project plan for my emotional destruction so you can identify the critical path and optimize the recovery? Camille, I'm not being cruel. I'm asking sincerely. I met his eyes. Because you seem genuinely surprised by what you're looking at right now. And I need you to understand something. This has been my life for 6 months. This flatness, this grayness, this getting through the day because the alternative is unthinkable. You're experiencing 5 minutes of it and you're shaken. I have lived inside this every single day since I left. He was quiet for a long time after that. I let him be quiet. Silence didn't scare me anymore. Very little scared me anymore, which Dr. Reeves said was its own kind of problem, that the absence of fear wasn't courage, but a symptom of something more concerning. Tell me, he said finally, Tell me what it's been like. I need to know. Why? Because I owe it to you to know. I considered this. Took another sip of my tea that had gone cold without me noticing. How does a person survive the total loss of their lives framework, I asked. Not rhetorically, I was genuinely asking. The way you'd ask an engineer about a structural failure you couldn't explain. Not death. Death has rituals. Death has casseroles and sympathy cards, and socially acceptable period where people expect you to fall apart. You get time off for death. You get grace. People bring you things and sit with you. And no one expects you to keep the house clean and the lunch is packed while you're burying someone. I set down the teacup with a small, precise sound. This isn't that. This is your life detonates, and then you're supposed to just keep going, keep showing up, keep making lunches, signing permission slips, and answering emails. People don't take sick days for their divorce. People don't get bereavement leave for the death of their marriage. You just supposed to absorb it and continue functioning. And if you can't, then you're weak. You're falling apart. You need to get it together. Camille. There were nights, I continued, and my voice was steady, which was the worst part. Steady in the way that a flat line is steady. Where the only thing that kept me breathing was those children. Not because I wanted to breathe. Not because I saw any reason to continue occupying this body in this life, in this version of reality, where the two people I trusted most in the world, I stopped, I recalibrated. The children didn't do anything. That's what I kept coming back to on the worst nights. They didn't choose this. They didn't ask for any of it, and it wasn't fair. It isn't fair that they have to grow up knowing that their father destroyed their mother. That's going to live inside them forever. Every relationship they have, every person they try to trust, this will be there underneath. The knowledge that love isn't safe. That the people who are supposed to protect you are the ones who break you. And that kept you here? His voice had gone rough in a way I never heard. The children. The children kept me from swallowing a bottle of sleeping pills. I said it in the way you say the children kept me from missing the school bus. Matter of fact, logistical. Because that's what it had become, a logistics problem. A calculation I performed on the worst nights, sitting on the bathroom floor with the Ambien in my hand, doing the math. How many? How long? Whether anyone would find me in time. And then Roberto has a history test tomorrow. Raphael has a recital on Friday. Ricardo needs someone to sign his field trip form. The mundane arithmetic of motherhood outweighing the other arithmetic, barely, but enough. His face had changed. The carefully composed features that I'd loved for so many years, the face I used to reach for in the dark, that I knew by touch before sight, had collapsed into something I barely recognized. This wasn't guilt anymore. This was horror. Good. Some distant part of me thought. And then, no. Not good. Not anything. Just true. I didn't know, he whispered. Camille, I didn't. If I had known you were... What would you have done? Again, not accusatory, genuinely curious. Come running, fixed it, applied your considerable problem solving to the crisis of your ex-wife wanting to die? Because I'll tell you what you would have done. You would have felt terrible, and then you would have gone home to her, because that's the reality. That's what's true. You found something real and profound, and I was in the way of it. And now you're horrified that getting me out of the way nearly killed me. But you would have still needed me out of the way. That's not... I don't say that with anger, and I didn't. That was the thing. The anger had burned out months ago, leaving something worse in its place. I say it because it's true, and I promised myself I was done pretending things weren't true just to make other people more comfortable. He stood up. I thought he was going to leave, but instead he moved to the window, his back to me. His shoulders were shaking. Elijah's shoulders were shaking. This man who had held the world together with his composure, boardrooms, crises, the complicated architecture of our family, was standing in my parents' kitchen with his back to me, trying not to fall apart. I watched him the way I watched everything now, from a great distance, present, but not participating. I hope, I said quietly, and he still got the sound of my voice, that you never know the pain you've caused me. I mean that. I wouldn't wish this on anyone, not even you. Not even on the worst nights when I wanted to. He turned around, his face was wet. I loved you, I continued. Not past tense because of some careful grammatical choice. Past tense because the woman who loved you doesn't exist anymore. She died somewhere around month 3, between the second antidepressant failing and the hospitalization that Daniela covered up so well that you never even knew it happened. That woman, the one who believed in you, who trusted you with her whole life, who built everything around the certainty that you were safe. She's gone. Don't say that. It's not a punishment, it's a fact. I traced the rim of my teacup. You were the framework of my life, not just the love or the partnership. The actual framework, the structure, everything else was built on. And when the two of you, I paused, not for drama, because the next words required more energy than I had, and I needed to gather it from somewhere. When you chose each other, you didn't just break my heart. You dismantled the framework, and I have been trying for 6 months to figure out how a person stands up when the thing they were standing on no longer exists. I don't have an answer. I'm not sure there is one. I take my pills, and I love my children, and I show up for the things I'm supposed to show up for, and I call that surviving. Is that enough, he asked, just surviving? I looked at him for a long time. This man I had loved with everything I had, this man who could still, even now, make a room feel different just by standing in it. I don't know, I said. Ask me again in a year if I'm still here. The silence of that was the longest one yet. He stood at the window, and I sat at the table, and between us was every year, every promise, every version of us that would never exist again. I should go, he said finally. His voice was barely functional. Yes, I agreed, you should. He walked to the door, stopped, didn't turn around. Camille? Yes? A sorry isn't enough, I know that. But I need you to know, his voice broke. I need you to know that what I did to you is the worst thing I've ever done, the worst thing I will ever do, and I will carry it for the rest of my life. I know I said softly. But you'll carry it with someone. I carry mine alone. He left. I sat at the kitchen table for a long time after, listening to the sounds a solid structure makes when it settles. Steady, reliable, built by someone who understood that the point of a foundation is that it doesn't move. I finished my cold tea. Then I took my 5 o'clock pill, the ones that make the evening survivable, and I called my children, and I listened to them tell me about their day in voices that still held light, and I pressed the phone against my ear until I could feel the warmth of the screen on my skin, and I stayed there.